I didn't get the internship, the CCA role, or the exco position. Rejected, rejected, rejected. So I stopped asking for permission and started building instead. Hi, I'm Saru, a year 2 banking and finance student with a deep interest in both finance and entrepreneurship. To me, they're two sides of the same coin. Finance helps me understand how people and companies think, how they behave, and what they prioritize. And entrepreneurship, it allows me to act on that understanding, to take risks, to build, and to create something more meaningful. As I say this, I realized that I wasn't always this comfortable putting myself out there. One of the first things that pushed me was joining OnSource. It didn't lead to anything flashy, but it forced me to go out of my shell, my comfort zone. I had to network, meet new people, and pitch ideas to strangers. That experience gave me the confidence to talk to founders and eventually approach people I looked up to. One of those people was the co-founder of Playmate. I met her at a networking event and pitched myself for an internship on the spot. I wasn't qualified on paper, but I knew that I wanted to run an F&B brand one day. I needed to understand the inside. That internship is still new, but it's already showing me how operations, marketing, and leadership come together in a real F&B business. In fact, recently, I just referred one of my millionaire friends to have a contract with Playmate. My friend James from Repair.sg, I referred him to my co-founder, Korong, for Playmate. And today, they just had their first contractual job offer. I'm really proud of the fact that my connections were also able to provide external value to my internship place. Now, all of this, it came from one huge culmination. And that was the last rejection that hit me in October of 2024. I was denied a leadership position I had really gunned for. And that moment, it broke me. But it also made me. I realized I was spending my time trying to get people to pick me. What I needed to do was start picking myself. That was the mindset shift that occurred and the one that I needed. I had always dreamed of starting something of my own, but I kept postponing it. After that rejection, I finally started. My first attempt was an e-commerce idea. I spent months researching, testing, and planning, but eventually I gave it up. Not because it didn't work, but because I wasn't passionate about it. And that's when I learned, failure is fine as long as you keep failing forward. So I pivoted. I love food, I cook a lot, and I'm obsessed with understanding how people balance health and convenience. I started small, cooking pastas, burgers, and rice bowls at home. I tested recipes, I got 8 friends to even pay for my food. I interviewed strangers outside gyms, and I joined a semester-long program at Ngee Ann Polytechnic, which resulted in me securing $1,000 in funding. This wasn't just about business, it was about becoming someone who leads without needing a title. Entrepreneurship forced me to develop skills no classroom ever could. Resilience, adaptability, self-awareness, and ownership. I've become a better communicator, a sharper operator, and someone who's not afraid to take action in the face of uncertainty. Now I'm preparing to share my journey publicly. I believe that people don't just buy food, they buy into stories, missions, and values. I want Vivere, my F&B brand, to feel personable, built for people like me, for people who want to eat better without giving up flavor. I know that showing the behind the scenes makes a brand more human, and I plan to lean into that. I know I'm just getting started, and that's why I'm applying to this program. I want to be around people who think bigger, who challenge me, and who are building things of their own and raising the bar around them. Like Alex Hormozi once said, the fastest way to become the person you want to be is to surround yourself with people who leave you no choice but to become that person. I don't just want to be a recipient of mentorship. I want to contribute to this community in a way only I can. I know I'm not the most polished person in the room, and that's exactly why I can add value. I bring the earlier stage perspective when the idea is still messy, the doubts are loud, and every small win matters. I've even pitched myself without a title. I've built from rejection, I've convinced 8 people to pay for food I made in my kitchen. That version of entrepreneurship, raw, unfiltered, and grounded, is something I can offer to this cohort. And I hope that honesty gives others permissions to be real too. Whether it's sharing lessons from Vivere, helping someone push through a pivot, or just being the person who reminds others that something small is still starting. And I'll show up with reflection, energy, and the willingness to serve. Thank you for considering my application. I'm not looking for a shortcut, I'm looking for a challenge, growth, and community. And I know this program will push me to become the kind of founder I want to be. Thank you so much.